Plantation, 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. We in captivity, we done lost our history, disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets, walking in darkness, and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures, murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Hill our land, Abba now put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle, showing fruits of the spirit. We don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just like you were saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D-Nail. Over here, guess who's cooking? Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And, of course, we got the world-famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday. All right. And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2. All right. You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking. And, of course, on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down. Get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't touch my head. As I sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find. Tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Tell you the truth, this ain't living. Cause every time we step outside, it's attempted suicide, drive-bys and homicide. It's the everyday norm. Welcome to the eye of the storm, where we at war from the day we born to the day we die. Surrounded in the flesh, drowning in these lies from these white guys with these evil eyes towards our own kind, committing genocide. Sliding down the block, then the Glock pop, another brother gone. Tell me when it's gonna stop, cause it's so wrong. But Deuteronomy 28 and 54 will let you know it's all a curse. Plus, we've been systematically played against each other. Only way to conquer a nation is basic. Hope you realize the truth and face it. We're the children of Jacob, and his kingdom we taking. But this generation will never make it. We don't repent and turn back to the Most High as a nation. I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. All these other nations ever did was rape, rob, and murder us. Now generation after generation, we born into a sea of lies. With all praise to the Most High for opening up my eyes, and now I see the truth. Got me feeling magnificent. Yes, they hate us cause the drip is sick, but tell you the truth, if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't have shit. We that seasoned it, boy. Yeah, the salt of the earth, and it's apparently clear through every verse. So it's Kwam Yasha.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Shem HaMashiach, Mamalak Yahawadah. Another beautiful lesson that we're going to bring out again tonight, edifying the people in these last days. You understand? That's our original duty. That's our main job as, men of the Lord. Now, our duty is to wake our people up in these last days, through archaeology, through history, through the prophecy of what the Bible is reading, and all the events of everything that we're seeing today. And we want to keep edifying our people. This is your brother Yahawadah of HOI Boston /NYNJ, and today's topic is going to be about the biblical feast days versus the pagan holidays of the world. You understand? Right. And this is it's time for our people to, truly understand 2/3 of our people in the world today, they're celebrating these holidays, not really knowing the real meanings, not taking, any type of heed to see, to see behind the scenes of the celebrations and traditions that they are celebrating. And that's what we want to touch on. That's what we want to bring out to edify our people today. And, through these videos, you understand, of the history and everything that we sit up here and show, we give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, that a lot of our people will start paying attention and start seeing some of these videos, as well as seeing brothers on the highways and byways. All we want to do is bring our people back to the light, bid them back to knowing what their laws and their traditions were that the Most High gave to them. Not everybody serves the same God, and that's something that we want to touch on as well. Not all nations serve the same God. We are put on this earth today where everybody thinks we're all equal, we're all the same human race, and it's a lot things. It's a lot different. It's way more deeper in the hole. To what our people just touch on the top surface. It's a lot deeper than what the pastors in the churches are not really edifying our people, as being messengers of the Most High and being messengers, to, as teachers, to teach our people, the true meanings and the true definitions of, why we are in the condition that we're in, why we're in the state where, we're the tail now and we're no longer the head. Us breaking the laws and the commandments is the reason why slavery came into play. All the top rulership that we had is the way in the education systems. Our people are destroyed, spiritually, most importantly. Nothing physical, is all spiritual. And a lot of our people are dead spiritual, as far as knowing who they are. And, these biblical feast days, that we want to share tonight, it is a part of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians in heritage. You understand? Your heritage is the record and blueprint. It is the contract given by the Most High that contains in that heritage your true identity of who you are, your true nationality, your true language, your true homeland where you come from, the true laws and traditions that were given to you by the Most High. You understand? And a lot of our people don't understand that today. And, this is why we give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High for those that he have chosen to wake up in these last days, to come out here, man, and it's not time to play games. So we want to touch tonight on a lot of these holidays that, in the world, these worldly pagan holidays that is not representing your full nationality. It's not representing your heritage. You understand? When you look at a lot of these pagan holidays that are being, that our people partake and, participate, Salakia, participate and do in this world, you understand, is don't know the real meaning to what they're celebrating. They really don't know nothing at all of what they're celebrating. And what this celebration of these pagan holidays is just pushing our people further and further away from knowing their original feast days, pushing our people farther and farther into fornication, to the wickedness of this place. You understand? And it's time to, wake our people up through these videos at the Most High. All praises that, of why YouTube and, other channels are, broadcast out for us to sit here and share this worldwide. You understand? So we want to just touch on some things tonight. Very, very, very sad what these holidays sit up here and do to our people. When you look at these holidays, it's just a straight up, it's just a money corporation. That's all that it is. It's just a corporation that just takes the money away from our people, and you lie to your children, and in the same process, our people are being lied to. And these are part of the crafty councils. You understand? When the Most High brought us, out of the high state of rulership, you understand, when we broke the laws and the commandments, when the Most High now put Esau in charge, which is today the so-called white man, put him in power, this man whitewashed everything. And when it comes to not only the whitewashing of Yahawadah, who today the world calls and ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, you understand, the angels, the prophets, everything is being whitewashed. Even other nations and their customs are being raped, robbed, and murdered by the so-called white man himself. And this is not nothing to hate. What we do is actually show who the real enemy is according to the Bible. That's what we are really showing. We are really showing who the real enemy is on this earth that causes all trials and tribulations of atrocities and, rape, rob, and murder, wickedness, evil throughout all four corners of the earth. And not for nothing, when Most High put him in power, you understand, this is what the Renaissance era, comes about, because this was the showing of seeing the so-called white man to see that now he's in power. And this is why, not for nothing, Moses is so-called white today. Christ, who the world calls Jesus Christ, Yahawadah, is whitewashed today. You understand? Our laws and traditions are being swept under the rug. You understand? These are part of the crafty council. You understand? So not only does it show with that, at the same time, your feast days, everything has been switched now. You understand? That's under the rulership of showing, the so-called white man showing that, he is the power on this earth. And he truly is. He is the power on this earth, but it's all because of the Most High. All because of the Most High, and at the same time, because of Israel's correction. And the minute that we get corrected and we start waking up and coming back to the garments, putting back on the garments, which is not only the official apparel of clothing, at the same time, that's also representing the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? So we want to touch on a few things tonight. And it's about these holidays and whatnot. It's a reason why a lot of our people don't know what the biblical holidays are and the history that applies behind our biblical feast days. Because our biblical feast days is the representation of Israel, the representations of the Hebrews before Israel. You understand? The representation of, our heritage at the end of the day. So we want to touch on a few things. Baba Kushal, you could bring out that first paragraph that I displayed that is talking about Easter. We want to start on that at the end of the day. Yes, this is this is a glorious time. One thing with me, I would never stop sitting here and saying this. I'm going to say this till the chariots come. I'm going to say this to the day that, I give up the ghost, all through the Most High. This is the most beautiful and blessing time to know that you're an Israelite. You understand? To know that you're an Israelite, to know that you're God's chosen people, you're the true salt of the earth. You're the original man. You understand? You're the original man on the earth today. All these other nations and everyone come from us when you really look at it. You understand? Through the lineage that goes all the way back up to Adam, all the way down to Shem, all the way down from his son Arphaxad, all the way down to Jacob himself. So these are the things that, it's time for our people to start waking up and start paying attention to. You know, you could bring that out, King Baba Kushal, when you get the chance, King. If you have that, I had sent a few pages from this book called the Holiday Hustle, and it explains of, you know, really talks about some of these pagan holidays, and what's, you know, the real root of these pagan holidays, before you bring out Deuteronomy. This is a very glorious time, Israel. Very glorious time. Yes, Khan, Kane. You could read that for me, Mighty Kane Baba Kushal.
I can't see it. It's too small for.
Give me one moment, King. If anything, Salakia, don't worry about it. I got the book right here in front of me, so if I gotta read something, it's all good.
Shalaki.
Nah, no problem at all, Mighty King Baba Kushal. Lesson's still gonna go on. We still gonna edify our people, man. You know, ain't no stopping when it comes to the Most High, doing the work of the Most High. You understand? You know, Satan do have his devices at time, man, but even with the devices, it's only but a short time that it could stop, you know, the word of the Most High coming out, man. So it's all good, King. I got you. Don't worry about it. This is the book that I have here, brothers and sisters, you know, that's also in the truth. You know, if you ever get a chance, you know, they have it up on eBay. Like you could go up online for this book. All praises to my elder Tarad, who officially got me this book with 4 other books as well, you know, that applies so much beautiful history. The book that I have here is called Holiday Hustle, the controlling the Black mind and finances, and it's by a brother whose name is Frank Zaquan Jordan. And you know, shout out to the brother Frank Zaquan Jordan, you know, because this, you know, these books here, you know, also link up and they also connect as a puzzle piece to the Bible. You understand? So we're going to start it right now. The name of this is Holiday Hustle, and we're going to go to the chapter of Happy Easter. You understand? And it reads, Easter is known for its tradition of bunny rabbits, colored dyed eggs, family gatherings, dressing in really expensive attire to attend church on Sunday, children getting released from school for spring break. But have you ever stopped to ask or question, where did this day originated or come from? It says few people realize that Easter has very little to with the supreme being or establishing Salakia it as a high holy day in the Bible. Easter was originally the celebration of Ishtar. The Assyrian and Babylonian goddess of fertility and sex. Her symbols, etc., 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 the egg and bunny. Where and still are fertility and sex symbols? Or did you actually think eggs and bunnies have anything to do with the resurrection? So not for nothing, when you look at this, you understand we're celebrating by a female goddess named Ishtar. That's actually where the word Easter is actually originated from. And her terms with these symbols of eggs and bunnies, fertility with sex and all that. But the truth about it, when you look at this, you understand, what does bunnies, what does rabbits, and what does eggs have anything to do with the resurrection of of Yahawadah, who the world today calls Jesus Christ? You understand? You know, it's crazy. Our children, you know, celebrate this day. Our family, you know, the families of our people that, you know, really don't question and ask themselves. You understand? They'll attach on this wickedness and they just keep passing it down from generation to generation to generation to generation. You understand? And when you look at the real purpose of eggs and a rabbit, you understand, you can go and Google up. You can actually punch this up on YouTube to show how do rabbits give birth. And rabbits actually give birth like a lioness gives birth, how cows give birth, horses give birth. You understand? They don't lay eggs at the end of the day. You understand? And this is what we want to show and touch on our people, to show them of what Easter is really about. So Easter is really behind the essence of Ishtar, you understand, a Babylonian and Assyrian goddess. So this is nothing to do what goes on with the traditions that were given to us, you understand, by the Most High. And I mean, it's crazy. Our people, you know, every time you turn around and look, you know, you know, they got all these Easter baskets and, you know, the candies, and, you know, you got commercials that speak about, you know, that has things to do with Easter. They got candy commercials based on Easter. You understand? They got what's known as Cadbury that has a rabbit on here, and they got all type of different rabbit shaped and eggs with all type of different candies and fillings and everything in it. But what does it have to do with the celebration of our original feast days? What does it, you know, what is the cause out of it? You understand? There's more on this. It says Easter was it says, where and still are fertility and sex symbols, or did you actually think eggs and bunnies had anything to do with resurrection? I also have questions for you. How many times have anyone witnessed or seen bunny rabbits lay an egg? Unless it's an animated cartoon or a magic of a Hollywood movie, the answer to that would be never. Why the answer is quite simple. Real life males and female rabbits produce babies, rabbits, not eggs. And it says Ishtar, which is pronounced Easter, or in the German astrocity, the goddess of dawn. It says was the day that ceremony commemorated the resurrection of one of their gods that was named Tammuz, who was believed to be the only begotten son of the moon god and the sun god. The only time the word Easter is mentioned is in the Bible, which we're going to go to on that, and actually is mentioned in Salakia and actually is mentioned by Miss Salakia Israel, by mistranslations. The word comes from the original Hebrew, which is pronounced Pesach, or Pesach. A Greek, it's in Greek is Passover. So not for nothing, you understand, that is the original Hebrew name of where they take these things from. You understand, where they take these customs and how they flip it around to connect to their own holidays. You understand, which is really keeping us away from knowing what our real laws and traditions are, knowing our real feast days that is applied with our inheritance. You understand? We represent all other nations' terms and everything, but we have no idea or no hesitation to ever think of what traditions are given to us. You understand? What do we sit here and we follow of the Most High? And that has to show you something right there. For history and everything of our people to be swept under the rug, our people being misguided, miseducated, they don't know who they are in these last days. In some ways, that shows our people something has to be beautiful about you. For your information of all of your whole life being, that the Most High gave to you of certain acts when it comes to life living. And this is why we messed up as a nation of people today. You understand? Celebrating all these other holidays and customs, but we don't celebrate our own. We don't even realize and understand that we have something of our own. We have something of our own that's given to us by the Most High. So these are things that we have to, wake up on. It says the early pagan practice and beliefs about Ishtar and the resurrection prepared the world for the religion atrocities which was occurred after the time of Christ. It says the pagans believed in a God that was resurrected each spring on Easter, a day which was dedicated to Ishtar, the mother goddess. She was also called the Queen of Heaven, and supposedly intercede with the gods on behalf of humankind. This precise belief has been applied to Mary by the Roman Catholic Church and has no basics or relevance to the Bible whatsoever. Easter did not originate for the sole purpose of celebrating Christ, but rather for the purpose of worshiping the mother goddess Ishtar, because worshiping of Ishtar presented her with two fertility symbols, eggs and rabbits. These became part of the Christian Easter celebration because sunrise at the beginning of spring was the holiest day of the mythical calendar next to December 25th. The practice of Easter sunrise service continued on into Christianity because the Ishtar Easter celebration was held every spring on Sunday, close to the vernal equinox and Ascension's rise of Christ was changed for 40 days after the Passover. As told us in the Bible, to the annual Easter celebration, all these begin with the Ishtar and Tammuz legends. So it has nothing to do with our real celebrations and holidays and holy days that we really celebrate. The same way how they took holy days and they split it that, took out the Y, put in a I, and now call it holidays. You understand? Esau is good for that. So-called white man is good for that. And like I said, this is part of the Renaissance time. You understand? When you look at the Renaissance time, that means rebirth. You understand? Rebirth, because that rebirth in that time was showing that white man now comes into power. So when he came into power, you understand, this is the same man that thinks he's God on this earth today. You understand? This is the man that sits up here and has you not believing, which a lot of our people do. They don't read the Bible. They have no understanding. They don't care of reading the Bible. You understand? You could just tell me a few things that makes me, that sounds good, just to make it feel good. You understand? To my feelings and my emotions. That's basically what it is. And a lot of our people, this is why we destroyed as a people today. This is why we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge, you understand, that is the reason or why we don't know the real truth behind the scenes of these holidays. Holidays that represent and celebrates nothing but wickedness, man. You understand? Not according to the holy holidays, the holy feast days by the Most High that represents, you understand, that not only the nation of Israel, our customs of everything we were doing, you understand, the rulership, how we applied ourselves before slavery, before captivity and all that came. You understand? We were upright, and we are still upright people, but we just destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You understand? We're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man, and we are dry bones right now. We are no longer the head no more. We are now the tail. So not for nothing, when the Lord looks at this, man, he's very displeased. You understand? When we are telling our children that, your tooth came out, put it up under the pillow, and the tooth fairy is going to give you money. You understand? You got not for nothing, and this is real. You have children from our people that are 12, 11, 13 years old, and they still believe in that, man. You got our children, man, that are 12, 13, 11 years old, and they still believe in Christmas, man. They still think a damn Santa Claus comes down their chimney and gives them all their gifts, man. This is what destroyed for a lack of knowledge is. Truly destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And all it is, like I said, these holidays are just these pagan holidays of the world is just financial. It's just a corporation of financial, man. You breaking your neck, spending your last. You're working overtime. You're doing this, you're doing that, just to break your neck, to put mythical people in front of the benefits that you do for your children, man. It's a sad shame. But these are part of the punishments for us breaking the laws and the commandments. This is why we lost today as a people. But at the same time, in these last days, the Lord is now waking up some of his men and his women, man, of his sons and daughters, which is us, to now sit up here, man, and lift up that rug of everything that has been swept of our history, everything about the nation of Israel that has been hidden from us. We are doing everything in our power and our might. You understand? All praises through the Most High to lift up that rug and show everything that they have swept up under the rug, man. And we get a lot of backlash. We get a lot of hate from our people at the end of the day, because you've been accustomed to this bamboozleness for so many years. And that's generations upon generations upon generations. Is generations passed down to generations. But now we in these last days now where, you understand, we're trying to get our people to cut that bloodline, man. To cut the rope of that generation, and now sit up here and connect it back to the Most High, bringing our people back to the right lifestyles and the customs of how the Most High, of what the Most High gave to us on when it comes to life living. And this is what we need to address to Israel. You understand? You are the most beautiful people on this earth, man. And a lot of our people need to take heed to that, man. But this world has torn our people down so much, man, that our people don't even care if they Israel. They don't even want to care or know that they God's chosen people. That you are the every last one of you brothers and sisters of so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, you are that grain of salt of why the salt of us provides so much flavor all over this earth, man. All over this earth, man. There's not a nation in the world that can do anything without the children of Israel, man. They hate your guts to the fullest, man, but they couldn't do nothing about you. They couldn't do nothing without you, man. You know, not for nothing. DMX said it one time, man. You understand? The industry don't care nothing about our people, but they couldn't make a dime without our people. And that goes for the government. That goes for all these, you know, all of that. That goes for all of that, man, that is keeping our people in captivity today. You understand? Every generation of our people, man, of the nation of Israel had a plot from these other nations. So these are the things that we have to custom and come back to. You understand? So when you look at Easter, Easter has nothing to do with the Most High. Easter actually has something to do with pagan gods, man, with a pagan god. You understand? Of sex symbols, of fertility. That's what sex symbols are. A rabbit and eggs. What does that have to do with anything? And like I said, our people break their necks when it comes to these holidays, man. Our people break their neck, man, to sit up here and put on their best fashion, fill that church, fill that damn church up, and all you're getting is nothing but lies, man. Pastor telling you nothing but lies, man. Celebrating Easter Sunday, man. What happened to the Passover? A lot of our people need to attend the Passover. The Passover has a lot to do with your history, none of these other nations' history. You understand? Cain, when you get a chance, let me get Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse 30, Baba Kashaw.
Done. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, verse 30. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee.
Continue on, King.
And that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their God? Even so will I do likewise.
So not for nothing, man. Yes, Lord is totally displeased. You understand? This is why the Lord didn't want us as a nation to interact with other nations. You understand? Having children with them. You understand? Having marriages with them. Because these people's jobs and customs, and it goes back to the generations of their forefathers. You understand? That help in the captivity of taking and wiping our inheritance away from us, snatching our inheritance away from us. Wasn't just so-called white man and nation that did that. You understand? You had the Arab nation that did that. You had the Syrian the Syrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, the Assyrian Empire. You understand? All these empires had something to do in the midst of your captivity. You understand? Keeping our people of knowing who they are in these last, of knowing who they were. And that trickles down as a domino effect all the way to the generation of our people today in 2026. You understand? The Lord is really, truly displeased with that right there. You understand? Truly displeased. Truly displeased of how we turn our backs on the Most High, and we have no problem to face towards the wickedness of this world. And then you're wondering why we as a people, the things are happening to us. You know, all the trials and tribulations that we're going through in this wicked kingdom, because that's what that is today. You understand? This is what we are in today. You understand? This earth is the kingdom of the wicked, man. Is the true wicked, the true the true wickedness of this world. So it's very hard, that our people, really need to wake up and understand who you are in these last days. You understand? And that's what we do these videos for edification. That's what we do these videos for, to wake our people up, man. Now we know that we can't, we can't reach everybody, and we truly understand that. Spiritually, we understand that. You understand? Because even the Lord says, all of our people are not going to, are not going to see the kingdom. You understand? 2/3 of our people have to sit up here, man, and they have to get cut off because you don't care about the Most High. And that's why we in the access today of following these customs, following these pagan holidays. We're killing each other. We're making music about killing each other. And then have the nerve to go to an award and get applaud for a damn award given to you. And the first person you want to thank is the Most High. Through the wickedness and all that, the Lord is very displeased. Lord is displeased with all things that we are doing besides coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Understanding what the 613 laws are about. Understanding the categories that the Lord broke them down in for ceremonial laws. You understand? For civil laws, moral laws, dietary laws. This is why we're filling up the hospitals with, all types of cancers, and our people on HIV, our people dealing with hepatitis, they're dealing with cancers, high blood pressure, gout, you name it. Our people are filling that up. You understand? The dress coding laws, man, that, our people follow all other customs, man. You understand? You go to a damn club and they tell you, this is the attire that I want you to wear to walk into this establishment. And our people have no problem to do it. Our people have no problem to do it at all. You understand? You go to Esau's job and he tells you, this is the uniformity that I want you to wear in my establishment. And our people don't have a problem with that. You even have the school systems that sit up here and have uniforms for your children to wear. And our people have no problem to follow that, man. All other customs until now you hear about the attire that the Most High gave to us to wear. Oh, wait a minute. You talking about those things that y'all wear hanging off your shirts and all that? Nah, I can't wear that. Oh, you talking about I just got to wear a dress and that's it? I can't put on no pants or nothing like that? Nah, I can't do that. There's always an excuse when it comes down to the actions of doing for the Most High. But our people have no problem to talk all damn day about it. So these are things that we have to sit up here, Israel, and we have to custom back to as a people. You understand? That's how we're going to, get into the kingdom. That's how we're going to sit up here, and we could leave this place a lot faster if our people will sit up here and start getting right. And it's a beautiful thing, man, because little do you know, we don't see the numbers or anything like that. But there's a lot of Israel out here today, man, that, our brothers, our sisters, the children, you understand that know they're an Israelite, that are wearing their fringes. Sisters are keeping their head covered. Sisters are being submissive to their husbands. husbands that are God and they woman, they wife and their children back to the Most High. You know, these are beautiful times. And little do you know, I know the numbers are up there. Because I know it's a lot of us. It ain't just with HOI and a few other camps. It's a lot of us out here that are waking back up. You understand? We are like the locusts back in the days of Egypt, eating the crops and eating everything alive for the Egyptians and not survive on. And we're doing that today when we don't follow the customs of these holidays. You understand? Little do you know, man, these corporations, they're losing money as well. And that's what also gets them uptight. That's what also gets them nervous and gets them more afraid. You understand? Because they're seeing a lot of us coming back to our customs. We're coming back to our inheritance. We're coming back to the laws, statutes, and commandments that were given to us. You understand? And coming back to these laws and commandments doesn't deal with nothing that goes on in this wicked world, man, that goes on in this wicked kingdom today. You understand? We are now celebrating the right way of the Most High. And that's why we want to touch on this book tonight, and based on the title of Biblical Feast Days versus the Pagan Holidays, because not for nothing, man, keeping these feast days away from you is showing the exact tips of who your people were from the ancient days, you understand, all the way up to today. And not for nothing, it's time for our people to start taking some initiative to sit up here and know that the Lord gave something only for you, man. Only for you and your people. Didn't give to everybody else. Only gave to you and your people. And that's the thing with our people, man. We feel, no, man, that should be with everybody else. You understand? We the only people that feel like there's nothing on this earth that belongs for us, man. Like there's nothing that's only given to us. And that's the mindset, man, that we have to break out. That's that dry bone mindset spirit that we have to sit up here and break out.
Good.
You understand? Kane, let me get you can get me Amos 5:21, Mighty King Baba Kushal.
Good. Amos, you said Amos 5:21.
Khan King. You know, understanding about these pagan holidays, man. You understand all the wickedness and everything that's to it. You know, and all we doing is really, you know, we're keeping ourselves more and more away from the Most High when we celebrate these feast days, man. You understand? It's like a spit in the face to the Most High when you are celebrating these feast days. You understand? Bring that out for me, Mighty King Baba Kushal.
Khan, the book of Amos, chapter 5:21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
See, the Lord doesn't even want to smell nothing about these holidays, man. The Lord despises, man. The Lord is not with any of these feast days that's just teaching about wickedness, man. Because that's all that these things provide. That's all that these holidays provide, man. And all it is just a money-making way of robbing our people blind, man. You understand? Esau will throw it out there, and all we do is throw it right back. We give it right back to him. The Lord is not pleased with that, man. You understand? And then when we get to the motive of wanting to explain this and share this with our people, man, a lot of our people, man, can't take it right. You know, it's like us telling our people, man, it's like we gave them a rash or something. You know, like they start to itch and all that, and, you know, get irritated and frustrated, all because you don't want to leave alone the wicked life, the wicked lifestyle. You understand that man has given to you. You understand? When it's really the Most High of why man and woman even exist, man. Our people rather follow man than to follow the Most High, man. You understand? Thinking the Most High is just a fairy tale. Thinking that the Most High just doesn't do nothing at the end of the day. You understand? When the Most High is the reason for everything that we see, that we have heard, the abilities, everything that we do on the earth, the universe, everything. The Lord is in on everything. He's in on everything. Like in the movie Kingdom, New York, how Frank White said, a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. Everything that's being done on the earth, the Most High has in on it all. He has in on it all. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, whether you like it, accept it, believe it or not. So we just want to show our people, man, of, you know, man make books. You understand? Man makes books at the end of the day, but it's all orchestrated by the Most High. You understand? Real quick, Kane. Give me real quick. Give me Isaiah 54 and 16.
Isaiah 54.
Just to show how the Most High intervenes with everything. You understand? There's nothing on the earth that is done and the Most High hasn't done. It hasn't created that. There's nothing done on the earth that the Most High admits. You understand? Bring that out for me, King Baba Kashar, just for a quick example.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Read that part again, King.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And
for his work. You understand? An instrument of his works. So when you look at it, we are instruments of the Most High's works. When it comes to good, when it comes to evil. You understand? The Most High created man and gave him the mindset to make a nuclear bomb. The same way that he also gave the instruments of writing these books today. You understand? The same way that he gave the instruments to the prophets, you understand, to write down the inspirations of his words that we read today in the Bible. So the Lord is in charge of all of that. Even with these feast holidays, even with the pagan holidays that we are celebrating. You understand? Because we don't want to follow the Most High God. We don't want to sit up here and we don't want to take heed, to understand, to just take a step back and observe, to see what the Most High is putting in front of us for us to see. And right now, this is a glorious time. You know, that a lot of our people, man, are back to the life-giving ways of the Most High, man. Back to the lifestyle of the Most High. You understand? A lot of brothers and sisters don't have their children celebrating this Christmas, man. The children 6, 7, 8 years old, and they understand what these pagan holidays are about more than the average elderly and adult person, man, of our people. This is serious times right here. Serious times. Real quick, I want to go to another quick topic, just to show what these pagan holidays are and whatnot. Just to show, because there is a lot on here at the end of the day. There really is, and I want to get as much done as possible. So I want to go into it. This is going to be with the Christmas now. You understand? So we're understanding what Easter is all about. We're understanding of what eggs and a rabbit has nothing to do with Christ. Has nothing to do with laws and commandments that are given to us. You understand? And we just want our people to understand of what these feast days are about. We want to give our people the inspirations of the Most High's words of what these books, of what these feast days are truly about. Because a lot of our people don't understand and know that we even have feast days for our traditions. You know what I'm saying? That's for our customs. A lot of our people don't understand the real meaning to the root of what the Passover is. You understand? A lot of our people today think that's with Easter. You understand? A lot of our people don't understand of what the real remnant of the Feast of Dedication. Our people think that that's with Christmas. You understand? Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. But don't know what that feast day is all about. Don't know what the true meanings and the true definitions of what these feast days truly represent. And what it is of these pagan holidays is just really a disrespect towards the Most High of following their customs, of their traditions and everything like that. Nothing of the Most High. See, none of these other nations have respect for our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, who the world calls God. These people they have basically a perpetual hate towards our supreme being. You understand? And this is why, like I said, this is why we are lost today. This is why, these pagan holidays that we sit up here and we custom to today, you understand, is really to keep you away from understanding your original feast days. A lot of your feast days has to do with the rulership, has everything to do with the real history of our people. This is why history is not being shown in none of these elementary schools, junior high schools, colleges. You understand? Everything is all ethics of white supremacy. They don't want you to know the real truth behind the scenes. You understand? Of who the original people that the Most High is dealing with. This is the book, The Origins of Christmas. And it's also still in the same book of Holiday Hustle and whatnot. So brothers and sisters, that have the book, continue to keep reading it, because you're going to get a lot of, it's a lot of meat on this book that, we have to sit up here, man, and we have to absorb that. This book here is like a sponge. You understand? It's like a sponge, and, try to absorb as much water into that sponge that you can, because there's a lot of information, man, a lot of beautiful information that helps us understand of prophecy at the end of the day. Because everything that you see on the earth today through the wars, you understand, through the GMO foods, the chemtrails in the sky, you understand, all these movies that is entertained, for our people to just be entertained on. And not for nothing, Esau will put the truth right there in front of you, but he'll utilize it in entertainment. So you really don't see it. The only ones who really will see it is the ones who are spiritually woken up. You understand? That are spiritually woken up. You understand? The Lord is not dealing with everybody when it comes to the nation of our people. But now to our people that are new, that are seeing these videos, this is time for you to absorb. This is time for you to sit up here and wake up and understand. Don't worry about how other people feel about it. You understand? Because they're not waking you up in the morning. You understand? They didn't help you get out that bed, man. The Most High is doing it. The Most High put the breath into your lungs, put the breath into your nostrils. You understand? He gave you the breath of life. So we have to take time to sit here. It doesn't hurt. You so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, get your King James Bible. You understand? The King James Bible is the closest, because there's other Bibles out here, but the King James is the closest to when it comes to the actual the actual showing of the records of our people. You understand? The water mighty king. You understand? If you see the King James version 1611, you understand? It's time for our people to sit here and get that. So much beautiful history, man. 15 books that they took out of the Bible because it represents history about us, but it also represents the expulsion of a lot of these other nations, man. How we had them in rulership, how we was in power. You understand? This is why we don't know nothing about this in these last days. But the Lord is spiritually waking our men up, waking our brothers up, man, to sit out here. And that's why you're starting to see a lot of brothers out here on the highways and byways, which is known as the streets. That's why we on the street corners. That's why we down there in your downtown cities. That's why we even in the neighborhoods of the ghettos of our areas, man, of where we live. To sit up here and show our people, man, who you really are in these last days. You understand? We are the fishermen to fish, that are out here in these last days to fish our people in. You understand? So this is a beautiful and glorious time. And like I said, this information, this history, everything, it deals with you, so-called Black man, woman, and child, Hispanic man, woman, and child, Seminole Indian man, woman, and child, Native American man, woman, and child. This deals only with y'all, man. Doesn't deal with nobody else. So, this is what we want to do. This is our duty in these last days, to wake you up, Israel. You understand? Wake you up and help guide you back to the customs of our traditions, our laws, and the commandments that were given to us by the Most High, Yahweh. You understand? By Shema Mashiach, Omalak Yahawadah. You understand? So we're going to go back into this. This is known as the origins of Christmas. It says the original Christmas goes back to the ancient Babylonian, ancient Babylon. It was always believed that the son of Iris, Egyptian name for Queen of Heaven, was born on December 25th, not Christ. Samarisis also bore the title Queen of Heaven. She was Nimrod's mother. It says Samarisis was exalted into one of the most famous women since the flood. She was Cush's wife. She was Cush's wife during the time of the Tower of Babel, and also the mother of Nimrod. After Cush was disgraced, subtle Samarisis didn't want to go down with him. So to maintain her reputation, she did the unthinkable. She married her own son. So at the time of the fall of Cush, you understand, in the time of the fall of Cush, you understand, she didn't want to sit up here and leave off the throne. You understand, where her husband was once at. And Cush, you understand, he was a Hamite. You understand, the Cushites today are known as the so-called Ethiopians that are walking on the earth today. You understand? And they come from the progenitor, which is the grandfather, which is Ham, which is one of Noah's sons. And that's another thing that we have to understand and know as well, too. We're not all the same. You understand? We're not all the same. You understand? You have people on the earth today that are Shemitic people, Hamitic people, and Japhetic people. You understand? The nations start from Noah's three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. You understand? That's where the nations now apply to the people that you see on the earth today. We all have a progenitor. We all go back to a progenitor of a forefather. You understand? So back to the reading. You understand? She did the unthinkable by marrying her own son to maintain her reputation. You understand? Not leaving in that position that she was in. Nimrod married his mother Samarasis. Thereafter the death of Nimrod, his wife, which was her mother, which was his mother at the end of the day, you understand? Samarasis promoted a doctrine at the living spirit of the living spirit of Nimrod. She claimed a full evergreen tree sprung up overnight for the dead, from a dead tree stump, which symbolized and represented the springing forth onto new life of the dead king Nimrod. On each anniversary of his birth, she claimed Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts upon it, which so happened to be December 25th. You understand? So when you look at our people today that are putting trees up in their houses, when this holiday of Christmas comes, our people are breaking their necks. You know, you're getting the artificial damn tree, to even our people that are getting a real live tree, and you putting it up in your houses. You understand? Now, when you look at the trees, you understand a lot of our people need to understand trees are life as well, because trees do a favor for us. You understand? It's like a circle of life type thing. You understand? The trees on the earth are put on the earth to produce the most beautiful thing for our people, man, for people, period. And that's fresh oxygen. That's what the trees sit up here and provide and represent. You understand? But what's going on today? The trees are getting cut down. You understand? And not only that, they're being, through this holiday, you understand, you have a damn tree up in your house. The tree don't belong in the house. Trees belong outside to maintain fresh oxygen for you to sit up here and breathe, man. That's what the trees represent at the end of the day. And this is beautiful food for thought, not of minds, of the Most High. So through the inspiration of the Lord's instruments of his work, Lord Most High can put man to sit up here and write history based on, you understand, based on the remnant of our people, all the way up to the Most High and Yahawadah, up to the prophets at the end of the day. So not for nothing, you're celebrating Christmas, you understand, it is wicked. Now, when you look at Nimrod, you understand, our people, you know, we think through these churches, which scatters our people, man, of thinking that Yahawadah, who really the world calls Jesus Christ, his birthday is on December 25th. When all in all reality, Israel, you are celebrating the birth of the wicked Nimrod. You understand? And I mean, come on, man. What woman, you understand? Like you have to have no soul. I'm sorry, you know, that's just true straight up. You got to not have a soul at all. You have to be wicked as hell to turn around and marry your own son. You understand? To have a man and woman relationship with your son like you doing with your own husband, that's wicked, man. That is straight wickedness. You got to have no soul to sit up here and do that, man. But this is what's behind the scene of what we celebrate today. And what did Esau do, so-called white man? He took Nimrod and pimped him out into this damn Santa Claus. You understand? Bringing gifts and all that at the end of the day. That's where the tree and all that comes from. Putting gifts up under the tree. Lying to your children, man, when you take your children to the mall to go sit on a damn man's lap. To tell them, oh, tell them what you want for Christmas. You know, I was in that era. You know, and you know, I was young at once. And I kid you not, man, my father and my mother used to take me and my brother to the mall. And I go and sit on this man's lap. I tell him what I want for Christmas. And this is the sad thing, man, that when I used to get up Christmas Day and go and peek in the living room and see that my presents in there, you know who I thought was really giving me my presents? That man whose lap I was sitting on. Not knowing the reality, man, of the things that my father had to go through, man, to bust his behind. You understand? Who was really our Santa Claus getting us those presents. But that's the thing, man, and that's for, you know, that's what comes with the breaking of the laws and commandments of our people, man. Because look what our people are doing today, man. And I've said that before. They are putting mythical people, man. You are putting another person in front of you and the benefits of what you do for your child, man. You know, you lying to your children their whole damn childhood life about Santa Claus, about the Tooth Fairy, about the Easter Bunny. And the sad thing about it, man, is that you now have the nerve to get mad at your children when your children start to know how to lie to you now. Now it's a problem when your children now start lying to you. But you've been lying to them their whole childhood life. You understand? Telling them about the Tooth Fairy, telling them about this and that. You know, just straight madness, man. So that's what these pagan holidays sit up here and bring forth. Nothing but wickedness, nothing but lies. Nothing but lies to keep our people astray and that rope connect, to keep attached, to just keep giving this same thing down from generations to our people, man. You understand? Our people, you know, children are growing up. And then you know, you should know that it's going to come to a day where your children are now going to get old, where they can understand for themselves. And you want to know what's the sad thing about it? But it's also the real of showing you how real the Most High is. Because our children will wait, you know, children will grow up and know that, damn, wait a minute. You know, it all comes to play like, you know, damn, wait a minute. It was really my father and my mother getting me these damn presents at the end of the day. But we don't turn the customs of sitting up here and breaking that and cutting that rope. Cutting that rope. No, what we do, we attach it and we give it to our children, man. We give it to the children, and the children, what are they going to do? They're going to grow up to do what? Pass it down to their children. When our real motive of what we should be doing, man, is coming back to the Bible, understanding the contents that is in the Bible. That's what gives understanding right there. See, one thing with us, with Israel, you understand, pastors and everybody bring out scripture. They'll bring out scripture at the end of the day. What Israel, what the men of the Lord do, we break down the contents based to scripture. And that's what gives the understanding. That's why a lot of our people are waking up in these days. That's why you see a lot of us in this truth now. You understand? Seeing us in this truth now because we're getting the real edification. We're getting the real understanding of what's going on. I've been to churches plenty of times before I came into the truth. And I never got no understanding on nothing. It was just boring, like being in a damn classroom. Just boring. To the point where I just get up and I just leave. And all praises to the Most High, man. It took for the most beautiful video ever of my two elders, man. Elder Zabak and Elder Terah sitting up here, man, and bringing out the understanding. Breaking down the contents to the scriptures to get understanding. This is why the Lord tells you in Proverbs 20 and 24, man's goings is of the Lord, man. You understand? Getting that understanding now. All praises to the Most High for putting them brothers into my life, man. Putting those mighty men in my life. And into a lot of our lives as well. Because look what we have gotten out of it, man. We have come back to our real inheritance. We have come back to the understanding of what's going on in this world, understanding who we really are, understanding why things are the way that they are, even when it comes down to these holidays that we are celebrating today. You understand? And so all brothers and sisters, man, of HOI to all other camps, man, that just celebrated the very beautiful Passover last week, man. You understand? All praises, man. All praises, man. Getting the real edification, getting the real class, and getting the real, the real nooks and crannies of what the Bible is truth about, man. So this is a beautiful time right here, man. So this is where the tree and all that comes from. You understand? This is who Nimrod was. And what was Nimrod, man? He was wicked towards our people, man. Every empire, every leader, you understand, from generations upon generations, you understand, had a perpetual hate towards the children of Israel. Even all the way today, Israel, all the way today in 2026, man. You got a damn leader, man, that don't give a damn about us. He's deporting our people left and right. He's doing all of this. He's just doing monstrous things to our people, man. And that goes all the way back to these other empires. But the same way they had their rise, they also had their fall. And in between that rise and fall, our people were held captives, man. So this is what the book really gives understanding on. This is what the Bible gives instruction on. When you look at the abbreviation of the word Bible, the basic instructions before leaving earth, man. That's what the Bible stands. Basic instructions before leaving earth, given to the children of Israel, man. That's all you hear about in and out of the Bible, is about the children of Israel. Even to these other nations who have tried to water down the Bible from the Quran, you understand, still speaking about the children of Israel. Still speaking about the children of Israel. So we really want to show the understanding of what these real holidays, these real feast days, biblical days of these feast days towards these pagan holidays, man, that are just keeping our people done, man. Keeping our people's bones spiritually drier and drier. You understand? And we trying to water down the dry bones, man. You understand? We are trying to, we trying to bring back fruit for y'all, man. And all praises to those who want it, and it is what it is to those who don't want it, man. You can't say we didn't warn you, man. You can't say you didn't hear nothing, man. My man, we like a celebrity right now. We worldwide. We like a celebrity who just we like a rapper who just went platinum and his record's all over the world. You understand? Israel is all over the world right now, man. All over the four corners of the earth. It's only a matter of time, man, till we reach that brother that's going to be the number to the 144,000.
Good.
And that's what we out here for, man. We looking for our people, man, who is the elect, man. Who is the elect. Because like I said, the Most High not dealing with everybody. So for those who are in this truth, man, hey, man, there's nothing else to turn back to. What is there to turn back to in this world, man? We're showing you here the lies that are still being brought on our people, man. That's all that this earth has done, man. That's all that this world does. That's all what these nations have done. Their job and duty. They are the whipping tools of how we used to get beaten back in the days. You got beat with that belt. You understand? You got some brothers, man, that got hit with that extension cord, hit with that switch. You understand? you know, hit with the goddamn broom, the mop stick, you name it. You understand? You name it. You understand? These other nations are like that whipping tool that is just whipping our people into a lack of knowledge, man. Just whipping our people to destruction, man. Through everything, through their philosophies, through their doctrine, every damn thing that you can name of, man. That's their duty and their job. But us that are waking up, it is our duty and now to sit up here, man, and we got to rebuke now. We got to rebuke in righteousness, man, to show our people, man, how beautiful you are. If you don't want that, like I said, you can't say we didn't tell you nothing. You understand? Just a little bit more. December 25th was the festival celebrated in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven, the sun god Nimrod. This very same Babylonian festival and tradition was adopted by the Roman Catholic Church, which gave to the name of Christ reference the two Babylonians by Alexander Bishop. You understand? So not for nothing, when you look at this, man, you know, this is why we don't deal with none of these churches. You understand? When you look at these Catholic churches, you look at the Baptist church, you look at these churches that represent Jehovah's Witness, you understand? Seventh-day Adventists, Mormons, the Trinity, Egyptology, you understand? 3% of 5% of the list goes on and on. All handmade, all man-made at the end of the day, but not made by the Most High. Not made by the Most High at all. So we just showing you behind the scenes of certain of these holidays, which are, you know, which are big days, you know, in this kingdom today. And the main big pagan holidays in this kingdom today, one is Christmas. You got Easter. You understand? You have New Year's. You got Thanksgiving. You know, these are the major big, you know, the 4th of July, Halloween, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. You know, these are the big dog traditions in this wicked kingdom. And these traditions are really to just block out and try to hide the original feast days. Where do you think these pagan holidays come from? It all goes back to the root of your original feast days, which all they did is flip around and give our people a bunch of nonsense now. You know, so these books are written for a reason. There's nothing under the sun that just doesn't happen for no reason. The Most High didn't give Brother Frank Zaquan Jordan, you understand, the wisdom and knowledge to write these books, man. That all goes a representation that goes back to the Bible, goes back to the original book. The original book, the best and only book on this earth, man. So we're gonna get into that. You understand? Cain, let me get Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And you can read down to verse 3, Cain.
Exodus 20 and 1. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. And Yahweh spoke all these things, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
What did the Lord say, King?
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Continue, mighty King.
Time. Verse 4. Thou shalt make, thou shalt
verse
not make. Verse 3. That was verse 3.
Oh, okay. Come on, King. We good on that right there.
Time.
So yes, the Lord says not to follow other gods. And that's what Nimrod is representing, a sun god. Tamaris is the queen of heaven. Ishtar, the queen of heaven. You understand? That is dealing with the sun, dealing with the moon. But it's nothing in representation of the Most High. These are the things that the Lord was sitting here talking about. You shouldn't be putting no other gods before me. And this is basically only talking about the children of Israel. This is only talking about the children of Israel. I don't care if you don't like it or not. This is only speaking about the children of Israel. And to a lot of our people that, you know, say about the 10 commandments, well, guess what? This is the first commandment in the Bible, in the commandments. You shouldn't have no other gods before me. Shouldn't be following and worshiping other idols. And like I said, that's why we in the position that we in today. Because we follow other customs and traditions of other nations. This is why the Lord made us an holy people. The word holy means separated. It means withdraw. The Lord separated you. The Lord separated the nations, their heritage, for a reason. Because all these other nations, Chinese man knows his full language. Yeah, the Chinese man to speak English, but he knows his original language is the Chinese language. He knows his homeland is China. You know, Okinawa, where, you know, over there in China. He knows his real traditions. He celebrates his traditions and his laws. He has a dress code and law. But we are the only people, man, that we don't know our original language. We don't know that our original language is Paleo and ancient Hebrew. We don't know that our real nationality is from the 12 tribes of Israel, that comes from the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh, Simeon, Zebulun, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Issachar. We don't know that we come from these tribes. Our people don't know that they're Israelites, that you are born Israelites. This is not a movement here. This is not like a Black Lives Matter or Amelia Bloomer damn women's rights suffering movement. You understand? This movement is contained through a bloodline of an actual people who exist in the earth today. That's who we are. That's who we are, kings and princesses. To our people who just want to be Jakes and Eves, that just want to be niggas and bad bees. This is who you really are. This is the custom of your heritage. This is the original root. You understand? This is your original eugenics right here. But our people don't want that, man. Our people don't want that at all. Kane, you can give me Colossians 2:8. Yeah, Colossians 2:8, Baba Kushaw.
God. God,
You know,
the book of
this is a beautiful time here, man. It's a beautiful time, Israel. And like I said, Israel, you know, to our to our people that are new, that are just getting understanding about the truth, that are just coming into this truth, you know, and they see these videos, we are only here. And that's the only thing that our real purpose of sitting here doing is to show and give our people the truth. You understand? We are here to give you the truth. That's the most beautiful thing to give to our people, man, is the truth. Bring that out for me, Mighty King Baba Kushaw.
God, the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men.
Say that again, King.
After the tradition of men.
Continue.
After the rudiment of the world, and not after Christ.
And not after the Lord, man. Not after the Lord at all. You understand? Read that one more time for me, King Baba Kushaw.
The book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
And that's the real thing right there, man. Our people, man, have been spoiled, man. Spoiled through these other doctrines. Spoiled that it's all right to be a Muslim today. Spoiled that it's all right to be a Jehovah's Witness. You understand? Spoiled through the customs, man. You understand? Through the traditions of man. Not through the traditions of the Most High and Yahawadah. Not through the traditions at all when it comes down to the Heavenly Father. We too busy following man. Too busy following man instead of following the Most High. And that's why we are confused the way we are out here in this world today. You understand? That's why our people are messed up the way they are. That's why our people are in the hellish conditions that they are in today, man. Because we follow man, and when we out in the streets, when we out here on these corners to show our people of what the Bible is truly speaking about, like I said, our people get ashamed on that. Our people get upset because a lot of our people don't, our people don't love the truth. And if you don't love the truth, you don't love the beautiful information that the men of the Lord given to you, you don't really love the Most High. You don't really love Yahawadah, who the world called Christ.
Good.
You don't really love him. Too busy following man. And man is corrupt, man. How are you going to listen, and I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes down to doctrine, especially biblical doctrine, is nothing best than hearing it from your brothers, man, of the men of the Lord. You got these pastors, man. I don't see really none of these pastors come out the Bible. You might have one here and one there that comes out of the Bible, and they'll bring out scripture. Some of them will even sit up here and break a little bit of the contents out, not fully how we do it. But meanwhile, the pastor's still in a tuxedo, still in fringes, church is open on Sunday, ain't teaching our people nothing about the laws and the commandments, not showing the original people of who the Bible is speaking about. We being taught that no, everybody can all come in. We taught that the Lord is dealing with everybody, that he's just all about love. He's not about hate. He's not about nothing else. But our people, man, the book is right there in front of you. And our people still don't want to get it. Oh, that's a man's book at the end of it. Oh, white man wrote that book. Well, if white man wrote it, why is the book being banned? Why is the Bible being banned in the UK? Why is the Bible being banned out here in California, in certain parts of California? Why is this not in none of the schools for education, man? Why is this damn annoying orange in office? Why is Donald Trump in office sitting here, man, to shut down the museums that contain history of so-called blacks and Hispanic people and Native Americans? See, we love to make it make sense compared to these other people in rulership that don't make sense at all. Oh, y'all just anti-Semitic people. You're a hate group. You understand? But meanwhile, you never pull out customs or go into doctrine to prove us wrong when we are only coming out of the Bible. You don't never sit up here and go into the Bible to sit up here and prove us wrong. You'll send your little henchmen out there, to sit here and try to go against the men of the Lord. And truth being told, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at the end of the day. You have a lot of these little Christian groups that walk out here in the streets to, just sit up here and distract. They're what you call a class clown. You just want to make it a joke, that the Bible is speaking about everybody. You understand? When we really up here, really showing you who the people are that the Bible is speaking about. So not for nothing, it's time, Israel. It's time to wake up, man. It's time to come back to these customs. And that's what we do, these videos. That's what we are out here on the highways and byways. You understand? That's why the Most High has woken up our spirit and getting our spirit right. You understand? And if the Lord did it for us, man, come on, man, you got to let the Lord do it for you as well. If we could do it, you can do it too, so-called black man, woman, and child, so-called Hispanic man, woman, and child, so-called Native American and Seminole Indian man, woman, and child. You can do it too. But like I once heard, Christianity is a hell of a drug, man.
Okay.
One hell of a drug, man. That's why you got grandmothers and aunts and all them that are like Florida Evans on Good Times. This the only Jesus I know right here. Even looked at her son crazy like she was ready to beat him when he sat up here and brought out the book of Revelations of showing you the true identity of who Christ really looks like. But that's the mindset that we are in today. Most High is not playing games, man. Most High is not playing games at all, man. When the Most High got, the Most High got us on time out right now. And that's to you 2/3 that don't want to wake up, man. You understand? But to those that are in that truth, man, it's like, it's like that one-time beating, and that's all you needed. That one time getting put in the corner, like you ain't like that feeling. You didn't like that feeling getting that behind whip. You ain't like that feeling of just staring into the damn corner of the wall. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that feeling, man. And so a lot of us, man, it only took one time. It only took one time. And that child is like, nah, I don't want that no more. I'm gonna get right. So brothers and sisters, we got to get right the same way, man. What more does the Lord have to do to make it uncomfortable for you, man? For you to understand that it's time to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Understanding who you are in these last days and get wisdom and knowledge. You understand? To understand what prophecy is. To understand the things that you see and you look at on TV. You understand the things that you hear about and see on the news. Us that are in the truth right now, and I know brothers and sisters can agree with me. There's not nothing that we walk outside and we just look at it. And we already can sit up here and bring up 4, 5, 6 scriptures, 7 scriptures based to what we just heard and what we just saw just now. That's actual prophecy that the Lord will give you to see through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But you got to receive the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. See, the thing is that a lot of our people love to teach, but nobody want to be taught. And when brothers and sisters, man, you come up to the men of the Lord on the highways and byways, man, take the time to get taught. Instead of trying to teach brothers who's biblical scholars, man, who has became biblical scholars now, that is out there to teach you. Not to you to try to teach us, for us to teach you now. So yes, man, it's time for Israel to get up on that, man. We're gonna bring out
Appreciate
the last. We're gonna bring out the last subject in this holiday hustle, and it's gonna be touched on Thanksgiving. Now we already done the Easter, we already done Christmas, and all we doing through the videos is edifying our people to sit up here and show them the things and traditions that they're dealing with when it comes to the customs of celebrating these holidays. The things that are behind it. The things that are behind the scenes that they don't show you, that they don't want you to know at the end of the day. You understand? Real quick, before I do, King, give me Luke 12:2, King. Because like I said, Esau, these other nations, and Esau today, to those that are new and looking at the video, you understand, is the biblical name for the so-called white man, woman, and child today. You understand? And Esau is good for that. You understand? Esau is known to flip and bamboozle things around. You understand? He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the word devil is a deceiver. It means deceive. This man is a deceiver at the end of the day. A deceiver of putting these pagan holidays and trying to blend it in to the biblical holidays that are given to us, to the biblical feast days. And it's just not happening. Bring that out for me, King Baba Kushar. Luke 12:2, Mighty King.
God. The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
So not for nothing, man, like I said, we're pulling up that rug. A lie can go but so long. You understand? People's wicked actions can only go but so long. You understand? Things are now being revealed. Things are now being a lot of brothers and sisters are really taking a look. They're taking a step back and they're observing to hear what's going on. And that's the Lord that's doing that. The Lord is waking is putting that energy on the spirit of our brothers and sisters to wake up now. Hey man, he's even putting it on the spirit of these other nations to sit up here and show our people, man, that yes, what your brothers out there on the highways and byways is talking about, man, is actual facts. It's actual truth at the end of the day. They got posters up on Facebook that's showing white women, white men that are sitting here letting you know that the original Jews are us at the end of the day. You understand? That the people that the Bible is speaking about is them. Hell, man, I've seen white people up on Facebook that have put a post that they know the destruction that's coming to them that comes from the prophecy out of the Bible. They know what's going on. You understand? So these are the things, man, that we love to sit up here and share. Like I said, we're only going to give you the truth. We're not going to give you nothing else. We don't want to give you nothing else. Our people been lied to and bamboozled for over 500 years, man. In this captivity, man. During the Jehovah's Witness times. You understand? When Jehovah's Witness was being put into play, our people were slaves. You understand? The Catholic and Baptist Church, when that was being put into play, our people were slaves, man. So not for nothing, man, yes, man, the Lord is now revealing things. Bit by bit, the Lord, bit by bit, is turning the tables back around and turning it back around to the original, turning it back to the original place where it all started from. And that started with us. You understand? So yes, it's a time that we need to wake up. You understand? And it's time for us to sit up here and observe the truth. Tell our children the truth. Show our children what's going on. This is the beautiful times right here. You understand? Showing our people, man, that these holidays, has nothing to do with the original traditions given to us by the Most High. This is Thanksgiving, and it reads, the story Thanksgiving that was taught through the account of eyes of society, pastors, parents, and school is a very heartwarming account in history, whereas English and Dutch pilgrims, settlers, journeyed to the Americas. Once they embraced upon this strange land, now titled America, they came peacefully, made friends with the natives of the land, and planted a beautiful, loving tree, Salakia, and planted a beautiful, loving 3-day feast and harvest during 1621, celebrating the first harvest since the Puritans, separatists, docked in Plymouth, Massachusetts. It says also in most schools in the U.S., they teach the pilgrims of Plymouth colonies invited local Indians to celebrate at a harvest feast after surviving their first bitter winter in New England. The true doctrine history has shown the real accounts of Thanksgiving is a story of a murder of indigenous people and the theft of their land. By the time the Mayflower landed in midwinter in the on the North America coast, the original native people of this short line has already been killed off in 1614. It says when a British expedition landed there, Salakia, when they had sailed back home to England, they took more than 100 Indians as slaves, leaving them with smallpox as well. This plague wiped out between 90 and 96% of the inhabitants in 3 years, destroying most native Indian villages completely. It says when the pilgrims arrived in 1620, they were very unprepared for the winter weather, and many died. Pilgrims dug up native Indian graves and robbed and vandalized their graves for dishes and pots, stolen their crops, robbed their storage hut, their foods. Storage huts for food. They took many of the natives prisoners. They found only one living Patuxet Indians, a man named Sequanto, who has survived his slavery in England. Sequanto had taught the pilgrims how to grow crops, hunt how to fish, and taught them survival techniques. Not only did Sequanto escape his slavery, but was also one of the only survivors of his tribe. It says he was forced into signing a treaty between the Wampanoag tribe and the English, giving the English permission to occupy 12,000 acres of land. Thus the traditions, Thanksgiving was born. The colonists invaded the chief of the Wampanoag tribe, Massasoit, to their first feast as a celebration of the land that they have forcibly acquired. the English invited several tribes to this celebration feast. The colonists offered food and drinks to 200 Indians had mysteriously dropped dead from unknown poisons. So not for nothing, man, you understand, us being taught that Thanksgiving is all about coming together, you understand, it really goes back to the history of how this land was raped, how this land was robbed, the people that were on this land. And when you look at the Wampanoags, you understand, the Wampanoags and Pequots, you understand, these were the tribes. These were the tribes who were Israelites from the tribe of Gad. You understand? The Gadites today on the earth are the so-called North American Indians. Because the same way that we have a man-given name, we also have a God-given name, a biblical name. You understand? Man calls our Gadite people Indians. The word Indian is only the root meaning to savage. You understand? When the real savages were the people who came and conquered. You understand? That came as peaceful people and being friends and all that, when really they were all about slaughtering and robbing. You understand? Getting to know the ways. And once they got the customs and everything, once they opened up, that was it. They fell asleep and woke up, man, and all hell broke loose. So when you look at the motive of Thanksgiving, you understand, Thanksgiving goes back to the tribes of the Wampanoags and the Pequots. And that's where the traditions of Thanksgiving comes from, through the slaughter and nightmare of our people of the Wampanoags and the Pequots. You understand? And this is real, man. These are the things that were going on. But I remember even in school, you understand, that's all they really just taught at the end of the day. They didn't go further on about the Wampanoags. They didn't go further on about the Pequots. They didn't go on about the massacre and the rape and murdering that they were doing to the people. You understand? The way the educational schools present it today and doctrinize it of history today is showing our people that, oh, they just came as peace and, you know, we joined hands and it just became a kumbaya thing. And now they off the earth. But now the people who were already on this land before these people even came here, they wiped out. You don't hear nothing of their existence at the end of the day. You don't hear nothing about it. And these school systems don't teach about that. These school systems don't teach about King David. They won't teach about what Job was doing. They don't teach about what Noah. You understand? That's the real history provided for the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and Seminole Indian children on the earth today. Even us at one point in time who were children. We weren't taught this doctrine. We weren't given this. We were given that Abraham Lincoln, you know, was the first. You understand? We were told that Abraham Lincoln, you know, all these presidents, you understand, of just marvelous, beautiful works that they have done. When all of these goddamn presidents, man, all the way down to Trump himself today, are wicked damn people, man. Wicked people that has done nothing to do but hurt the children of Israel, man. Touching the Most High, the apple of the Most High's eye, Salaki. So yes, man, it's more to these holidays. You understand? It's more to these, you know, it's more to it. All these traditions and everything, man. You understand? The Lord is displeased with everything that these people do to the Most High's children, which is us. And at the same time, he's also upset of the things how we still partake, even when you have brothers of your own that'll sit up here and put the truth right in front of you, man. And that's what this society has taught our people, man. You understand? How to dislike the truth, man. How to disbelieve the truth. And this is why thousands and thousands, millions and millions of our brothers and sisters, man, You understand? Don't care about the Bible. You know, they'll tell you they've read it several times. You know, brothers will tell you, I done read the book several times, but yet you still got your pants hanging off your behind. Still not wearing fringes. Still don't sit up here and keep the Sabbath, man. Keep the feast days. Don't keep Passover. And showing your kids that it's all right to condone to these traditions. So, you know, we're not doing these videos for nothing. You know, we're doing these videos to really sit here and show our people. You understand? Just a little bit more, and we're going to go into scriptures. It says, the only Native American Indians who attended the Pilgrim Thanksgiving in 1637 were those Pequots taken captives during a very violent raid that preceded it on May 26, 1637. At least 700 of the tribe's estimated 8,000 members were slaughtered by Caucasian English settlers from 4 colonies of their own native allies. This became known as the Pequot Massacre. Bloodshed was the most consistent theme of the first Thanksgiving in the New World. The English privateer named John Winthrop was killed by allies of the Pequots in retaliation for an attack that killed the Pequot chief Tatabine, and a misguided counterattack. 2 colony officers led several hundred men to the Pequot settlement, which would have been known today as Connecticut. So in the areas of Connecticut, you understand, that's where the Pequot of our people, man, you understand, this is where they were living in. You understand? This was the area that they were living in. The same thing that when you go back to even the Lakota tribe. You understand? When you go to the Lakota tribe, you understand, they were in the areas, you understand, where today known as Mount Rushmore is at. You understand? And before that mountain was called Mount Rushmore, it was called the 6 grandfathers. You understand? The 6 grandfathers that was invaded by Caucasian European settlers as well. And their top general that was in that authorized that army, you understand, to take over that mountain, because what they discovered that there was gold and all type of riches around and in those mountains. And the person who authorized that, he's on your $50 bill today. You understand? He's on your $50 bill today. And not only that, during that time, after the complete damn near wipeout of the Lakota tribe in the 1920s, the Ku Klux Klan funded up the money to sit here and now chisel the faces of Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and the 2 Grant. You understand? And I forgot who the other one was. You understand? Those faces, through the Ku Klux Klan, funded the money to chisel those faces up on those mountains today. You understand? And all they called it is Mount Rushmore. Calling it this, you know, they call it Mount Rushmore, and that's all we know. That's all we know, when there's a lot of other things behind the scenes of that. There's nothing on the damn earth, you understand, that is of the so-called white man. He had to take it. He had to bloodshed people to take it. This is why the Lord calls him in the scriptures a vagabond, man. Because there's no land. The only place on this earth that is for them is the Caucasus Mountains, man. The caves and whatnot. But as far as everything else that is up on this earth, man, is nothing of the so-called white nations, man, that they had to rape, rob, and murder. There was nothing never that was just only fully given to them. The only thing given to them was these Caucasus Mountains, man. That's all that was given to them. But everything else, man, they had to pillage, they had to genocide, and they had to rape, rob, and murder it for it. You understand? It says, and ordered them to burn hundreds of hut housings. You understand? Because that was, basically the apartments and houses back in that time. You understand? Of our so-called native people, man. You understand? They were living in huts. Hundreds of their huts were burned down. Some 800 to 1,000 Pequot Indians shooting or stabbing those that fled the fires. So anybody who was running out from the fires, getting caught on fire, of their huts getting caught on fire, the men, women, and children who were running out of these huts, they were getting shot down. They were getting stabbed, you understand, by these wicked people, man. You understand? Who in the schools tell you were peaceful pilgrims, man. Peaceful people at the end of the day. When really behind the scenes, man, they were massacre people. They were murderers, man. You understand?
Good.
They were true murderers at the end of the day. So yeah, these are the things, I want to touch up on more. I'm going to have to make another class for it. But I want to touch up on more of this book here called The Holiday Hustle. Very, very interesting book. I know some brothers have it already and whatnot, and they can vouch for me as well. Very, very interesting book. There's a lot of meat on this damn book right here, man, to chew on, because there's so much information that's in it. So much information that's in it. And, all praises to the Most High, for revealing things out through books. You understand? We are the instrument of the Most High's works. When it comes to good, when it comes to evil. You understand? We are the instruments. If the Most High is the potter, we're the clay. If the Most High is the puppeteer, we're just the puppets at the end of the day. But it's all ordained by the Most High. Nothing is done by itself. You understand? So all praises to the Most High for Brother Frank Zaquan Jordan to establish this book that connects back to the history book of the Bible. You understand? Let's bring that out. Let's bring out Jeremiah 10:2, King.
Okay. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus says the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
What did the Lord say?
Learn not the way of the heathen.
Continue.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them.
See, the heathen is dismayed at them, man. The heathen is against the ways of the Most High. The heathen are against the laws and commandments given to the children of Israel. Why you think when you go into these court systems, you understand, the book is sitting, they mock the history, they mock our book at the end of the day. They actually mock it because they tell you to put your hand on it. Then they tell you to swear to the Most High. You understand, under tradition system that is up here to just, destroy our people anyway, to fail our people. You understand? Here it is, the original laws on the earth are the 613 laws and commandments. But what do? They don't open the book to custom to our people. If these are the founding fathers of America, of society, you understand, why are they not opening the Bible to show us the laws and the commandments given to us? What do? They'll take the book and put it to the side and constitute their own laws. You understand? They constitute their own laws. They don't show us the laws in the Bible. Because if that was the case, man, how many of our people wouldn't be eating crab, shrimp, and lobster and pork? How many of our people will be wearing fringes? How many of our people will be understanding the feast days to these pagan holidays? You understand? How would our people sit up here and know how to establish as a nation and be passionate and loving and consistent to one another? You understand? We're not taught that by these people. You understand? And that's why the Lord is risen in the spirit of his sons, which is the men of the Lord today, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, you understand, to sit up here and now show it for our people. We are now the watchmen for our people to sound off the alarm. Because America don't sound the alarm off for you. America's job is to keep you away from the Most High, keeping you away from the laws and the commandments. You understand? Their job is to get you killed by the Most High. And that's playing upon tables. That's truly playing upon tables. Continue on, Mighty King Baba Kushar.
Khan, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Salakia, King. And this is right here. This is the Most High showing an example. This is the Most High giving an example about these pagan holidays. And we just read about it. You understand? We just read about it. We just read about it. We only going to give you the truth. We're not going to give you nothing else. You understand? Continue on, Bonnie Kane, Baba Kushar.
God. The work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Continue.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
And this is how you have your tree not move in the house today. You have a tree stand to put the tree on. You understand? This is what they was doing back in that time, decking it with silver and gold. And what do our people do today, man? That are lost, are people that are spiritually dead. You understand? You decorating the tree, you putting lights all around it, you putting all these different colorful little bulbs and all type of ornaments and everything on it. So this is the example that the Lord is setting up here, showing that the heathen does and has taught us how to continue that same tradition, man. Nothing to do with the Most High. Continue on, Mighty King Baba Kushar. Salakia.
Good. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
And that's playing upon tables, man. The tree can't do no good, no evil at the end of the day. They can't speak.
Good.
They can't do none of that. You understand? The tree's motive and tree's only existence on this earth, like I said, is life as well. The trees are life as well too. And what do? They provide fresh oxygen to us that breathe the air. That's what these trees are custom for, man. You got some of these trees, man, that not only provides fresh air for us at the end of the day, but they provide minerals. And what are those minerals today, man? Your fruits. You understand? Fruits for us. Certain materials for animals, for insects to sit up here and eat. You understand? The trees are life itself and whatnot. So the Lord is telling us, man, be, for these people, learn not the way of the heathen. Look what the heathen is teaching our people, man. Teaching us nothing at the end of the day. Teaching us nothing of the real biblical lifestyle that we should be accustomed to. Teaching us nothing in these last days, man. Teaching our people how to be how to be sheep to just be scattered. Not keeping us together. That's why I say that's why we messed up for a lack of knowledge the way we are today. Real quick, King, you can give me Leviticus chapter 18 and 3, King. Yeah, a few more scriptures, and we're gonna wind it down. You know, I know brothers and sisters got to get up for work and whatnot, you know, and like I said, it's a lot of information. I would keep on going, but we'll be here all night. Seriously. Be here all night. I don't mind being here all night neither, but you know, we got to do things in order too and whatnot. You know, I know brothers and sisters, man, got to get up the kids in the morning, man, you know, and, you know, got work themselves at the end of the day and whatnot. So, you know, we going to wind it down and whatnot. You could bring that out for me, Mighty King Baba Kushar.
God. The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
So now for nothing, this is the Lord right here, man. Not walking in their ordinances, You understand? Not walking in their ways. You understand? This is why Paul, you understand, was going around, you understand, to our people who were in the custom spirit as Gentiles. They weren't actually Gentiles of these other nations, but they were following the customs of these other nations, traditions, and ordinances. You understand? You know, even when we were in Egypt, we were following the ordinance of Pharaoh, following his ways and whatnot. And this is a reason of why the Lord separated us for a reason, man. Separated us away from these other nations. This is why the Lord didn't want us to interact with any of these other nations if it ain't of your own people. Because what is the most messed up thing when you interact with these other nations? They're going to take you further and further away from your God. They're going to take you further and further away from your traditions. You understand? They're not going to celebrate the Feast of Dedication with you. They're not going to sit up here and custom to your abilities of your traditions and your laws. You understand? And our people, man, we integrate with these other nations, man. And next thing you know, like I said, you understand? We into Egyptology. We into goddamn Muslim. We into 7-day activists. We into all these other things, man. We into the Trinity. We're into all that. Because we're following these other customs, following these other people, when the Lord said, man, you should be with your own. You know, and not for nothing, that's also a commandment. That's also an ordinance given by the Most High to us. There's a reason for everything. A reason for everything at the end of the day. Let me get Isaiah, King. You give me Isaiah 1 and 14. You understand? The Lord is displeased with these holidays, man. You understand? The rape, rob, and murdering. You understand? To these holidays that we celebrate today, man. And what's the biggest thing for our people, man? Oh, that was in the past. You know, we got to move on at the end of the day. But how can you move on to something that's still going on today with your people that goes all the way back to the ancient time of your people? You understand? Like I said before, every nation, you understand, every generation of our people, man, these other nations had a plot, man. They had a plot. This generation goes back to their forefathers, man, that was doing wickedly on our people, man, all the way down to the customs of their children today that's in rulership. And what are they doing to the children of Israel today? The same that goes back to the ancient times. It's just more upgrade now today. That's all that it is. It's all upgrade. You understand? Our people were being cursed down. You understand? Our profitable four brothers, man, that were killed for telling the truth, that were doing the truth at the end of the day, customing their people to come back to the laws and traditions. You understand? How we go through it today with our people trying to wake them up. Noah went through the same thing. Job went through the same thing. You understand? Paul went through the same thing. Peter went through the same thing. The list goes on and on. They're going through exactly what we're going to go through today. And there's a time coming, man. Brothers done got arrested for bringing out this truth. There's going to be a time, man, where we gonna be snatched up to be put to death. Either be put to death or don't tell the truth no more. That time is coming. That time is coming for the men of the Lord that's standing stiff for the Most High, man. That time is coming, man. And all that is going to play out in martial law, man. All that's going to play through martial law. You're going to be brought to the top chief, and he's going to tell you with a damn guillotine sitting next to you. Either follow the way of the Gentiles or get your damn head cut off. What you going to do? That's how strong this truth is, man. Even us with this video right here, videos that other mighty brothers sit up here and bring out. You understand? Don't think they don't be watching, man. Don't think they don't see these things, man. And at the same time, you know, they itching to want to do something. But you want to know what's real at the end of the day? Most importantly, they're afraid, man. They're afraid because they know they have a short time. So I'm going to do as much wrath as I can before my time is up. You understand? These people, man, they got a tab to pay, man. And they got to pay for what their forefathers did. You understand? Their tank is almost on empty. The fuel is almost empty. The fuel is almost dried out of the tank, man. It's only a matter of time, like how your car, man, once it hits on E, that's it. That little fuel engine, that little fuel light comes on, giving you a warning. And it's only but so long that light is going to sit here and alert you before your car can't move no more. You know, so this is the time to wake up, Israel. You understand? This is the time to wake up and fear the Most High. Let the Most High direct your path for acknowledging him, man. You don't know the beautiful customs the Lord would do for you, man. The protection that the Lord will put the angels around you on. For doing this work, man, for doing this truth. And you want to know what's crazy? You doing this truth is representing what your people, of your people, is representing of your nation at the end of the day. Why would you not want to deal with that? You're going to deal with the customs of these other, of this society that's not going to save you anyway. When all hell is breaking loose, Trump ain't going to help you. Trump ain't going to be up there holding your hand while you're talking about, I love Trump. You understand? You don't think why they making these bunkers and everything for a reason? They trying to think they're going to escape from the Most High, man. They thinking that they're going to escape the Most High's wrath, that they're going to escape Yahawadah, man. And what are they going to do? They're going to leave you out. They're going to leave you like free for all, man. They're going to leave you out there to defend for yourself. That's why it's time for our men to come into action, man, for the Most High. That's why it's time for our men to sit up here and wake up and come back to the customs, man. Our sisters that sit up there, man, that's in the world talking about they don't need a man this and need a man that. You understand? You're going to need a man in that day. You're going to need a man in that day. So, you know, it's time for us to wake up, Israel. I got two more scriptures, King. Give me Malachi 2 and 3, mighty King Bible. So the Lord is displeased, man, at all that sit up here and disobey the commandments of the Most High, man. You understand? The Most High is your official parent, man. Most High is your official parent at the end of the day. A lot of us need to wake up and see that, man. And just like how your parents would be displeased with you, man, just doing whatever and just, just bit by bit tearing down your life and whatnot, not trying to get right and whatnot. You understand? That's how the Most High is with us right now. You don't want to get right at the end of the day, man. You don't want to get right. I'm gonna laugh in your calamity when you do now start calling for me. When you now want to sit up here and deal with me, but it's going to be too late, man. Bring that out, Mighty King Baba Kushaw.
God, the book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 3. Behold, I will corrupt your seed and spread dung upon your face, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it.
Can't make this up, man.
God.
The dung is talking about like it's talking about poop, man. And they just throwing in our faces, man. And they just throwing in our faces, man. Even down to our children, man. Even down to our children. It's going to come to a time where they got to pay for this, man. They got to pay for the lies that they done spread throughout the nation of the children of Israel, man. They got to get double. They got to get payback for every damn thing, from the lies to even the touching of our people, man. The Lord is displeased with these feast days that are given because they don't represent nothing for us. They don't represent no type of actions in good terms for our people, man. They don't represent the original history given to our people. This is why they took the 15 books out of the Bible, because they don't, they didn't want you to know the exposed of them. But most importantly, the true history of our people, man. They don't want our people to know that you were in rulership, man. That your people had these other nations bowing down to us. And that time is going to come back, man. That time is going to come back. And that's not a non-believing thing right there. That's not a myth. That's not a fairy tale. You understand? This is not like Beauty and the Beast where damn Rose is going, the girl going to tell him I love you before the last petal falls at the end of the day type thing. Nah, man. This is actual thing that's going to come into play. But are you so-called black man, woman, and child, Hispanic man, woman, and child, Native American man, woman, and child, and Seminole Indian man, woman, and child, are you ready? The Lord has an open right for you, man. The Lord is not hot, he's not keeping that from us. But how bad do you want it at the end of the day? You understand? Last precept, King, you can give me Lamentations 2 and 6.
Okay. The book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 6. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his place of the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feast and Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion, and have despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest.
And that's real, man. You understand? That's what these people have done, man. You understand? They have took us away from the Sabbath and our feast days, man, even from Zion. People have sat up here and really destroyed us down, man. But bit by bit, we are waking back up. We are coming back to this truth. And bit by bit, we start to get understanding, You understand what the prophecy and everything is talking about. You know, read that for me one more time, Mighty King Bible Show.
Okay. The book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 6. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord have caused the solemn feast and Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion.
And that's the thing, man, for us breaking the laws and commandments. Salakia came for us breaking the laws and the commandments. You understand? This is why we forgot. This is why 2/3 of our people have forgotten about the laws, man. This is why we forgot about the commandments. Us breaking the laws, man, the Lord, you know, the Lord took that away from us for a minute. You know, he didn't cast us out, but he took that away for a minute, man, to show his wrath, man, to show his anger of us disobeying him. You know, and this is why you have beautiful brothers like the elders, man, the priests of the elders today, you know, that sit up here and tell the truth to these pastors, man, that are supposed to be priests as well, that is just telling you nothing but lies. You know, not doing the full instruction of getting you right for the Most High. You know, so you know, this is a very serious time that we are in. You know, our people have to let go of the self-hate. You know, all these things that go on the earth, man, has, you know, the Elder Macabre brought it out not too long ago, man, of the Stockholm Syndrome. That's what a lot of our people have, man, Stockholm Syndrome. You know, trying to be like these people in so many ways, man, bleaching their skin and, you know, and like I said, the customs of their traditions, you know, that plays along with it as well. And that's why a lot of our people, man, are converting to these other, you know, to these other nations' tactics through their laws and traditions, their gods that they sit up here and serve. You understand? When we need to really start coming back to thus say the Lord, thus say the Holy Bible. You know, so, you know, this is a beautiful time right here, man, for, you know, Israel to get into play. You know, this is the most beautiful time knowing you're an Israelite. You know, this is time for our people, you know, through these videos, you know, through the doctrine of these videos, man, that, you know, you're just preparing our people, man, to come back to this truth. You know, it's not lies, it's all truth. And, you know, all we're doing is telling the truth, and we're exposing the truth. You know, exposing the people, man, who are in charge of, you know, running things when it comes to this wickedness that's going on. You know, so, you know, that's it for part one. You know, I do have to make a part two out of this. And, you know, it is time to let go, man. You know, I still want to touch on things with, you know, in part two, that's going to attain with Halloween, you know, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day. And, you know, all we just want to do is show you the true motives of what's going on behind the scenes of these holidays that we represent. You understand? Beautiful time, man. This is your brother Yahawadah of HOI Boston / NYNJ. You know, to my mighty beautiful brother who read tonight, mighty beautiful reading king. You know, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. The water for that king. You know, the water to, you know, Captain and all the other brothers, man, that, you know, making a beautiful establishment, man, of putting out these videos and everything, man, making beautiful, you know, to the brother that's doing the beautiful titles, you know, for, the lessons and everything that are being brought up, everything that our brothers are doing and participation, man, for these videos. And most importantly, man, for the works of the Most High. You understand? All praises, honor, and glory, man. Love each and every one of y'all, man. And, we're going to continue to keep pushing, continue to keep letting out this information. There is a due time, man, where it's going to get to a point where things are going to get rough, to a point where, we're not going to be able to broadcast. We're not going to be able to put nothing up on YouTube no more. We're not going to be able to do these lessons. It's going to come to a time where we're not going to be able to even go out in the streets no more to edify to our people. You understand? The time is coming at the end of the day. So right now, while the Most High is using, you understand, these people who are in charge of, YouTube, in charge of the media, you understand, that still has everything up and going, you understand, all through the Most High, that is playing their part of that instrument of the Lord's works. You understand, brothers and sisters, man, of Israel, it's time to partake in that, man, and get in these videos, man. Come back to the truth. You see brothers that are out on the highways and byways, man, take time to sit up here and get a peace of mind, because brothers are out there for you. Brothers are out there for only us, man, not for nobody else. Brothers are putting their lives on the line. It might look like it's not, but brothers are really, spiritually, brothers are really putting their lives out on the line. You understand? Brothers are, distancing from their parent, from their families, just to come out here. You got brothers that sit up here, man, and travel from state to state. You understand? Leaving their families, at home, just to come out here to wake up one of our brothers and sisters. So this is real times right here. We love our nation, we love our people, man. Yes, a lot of our people are bugged out and everything, man, but we understand, and all we just trying to do is bid you back to the marriage. You understand? All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Mashiach, Mamalak, Yahweh Shai. And with that, all praises. Hom Yasharala. Shalom.
Hom Yasharala.
God. Brother Ariel, you wanna bring out the Lord's Prayer?
Come again.
No, I was
Okay.
Is the captain on?
Khan, can you hear me?
Yeah, Khan, I can hear you, Mighty King.
Yeah, I say you could close it out with the Lord's Prayer.
Okay, Khan, no problem at all. I got you right now. Give a quick 30 seconds, for everybody to get themselves positioned up, face towards the east, anoint, if anything, too, as well. And yeah, I'll definitely get into that. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Mashiach, Mamalak, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, family. We're gonna do the Lord's Prayer. Everybody, when you get a chance, face the east. Face the east in your houses and whatnot. And we're gonna start it off right now with the Lord's Prayer. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Mashiach, Mamalak, Yahweh Shai, as we do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew tongue. Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allahaynawa Yahweh Akkad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allahaynawa Yahweh Akad Shemai Yasharala Yahweh Allah Hayinawa Yahweh Akad Shemai Yasharala Yahweh Allah Hayinawa Yahweh Akad. Blessings, O Lord, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach, Mamalach Yahweh Shai, Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Asha, Baharataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Lathanawa, Lahum, Kol, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Wa'ala, Damanayanawa, Mangasayawam, Abol, Hawashainawa, Mayang, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Wa'ala, Wahatapura, Layawanyam, Amen. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Mamalach Yahweh Shai. All praises, all praises.
Khan, all praises, King. So yeah, we could definitely work on a part 2 as well, King. Most I will. Hopefully, everybody was edified. And a quick reminder: we have the mandatory Sabbath class this Saturday. You know, Brother Armor Par already made the flyer for that one. So we got that class coming up with Elder Zabak. The name of the lesson will be called "Familiarity Breeds Contempt." Familiarity breeds contempt. And then also next week will be April 16th will be the new moon. So once again, just give me our update. April 16th will be the new moon. And for the Passover, next year Passover will be in Detroit. God. So in the meantime, family, let's keep pushing. Continue to endure. Let's keep improving. And may the Lord keep us safe, protected, keep the angels around us. Strive for the kingdom until death, and the Lord shall fight for you. And with that, Kwame Yashala.
Kwame Yashala.
God.
All praises, King.
God. Shem Mashiach Yahushua.
Shem Mashiach Yahushua.
God.
My brothers, I'm representing. You touch one of them, that ass will be missing. No pot to pissin'. Stop, drop, and listen. 2/3 of Jacob's about to be missing. Lords of Yahweh, that's what we teaching. Brotherly love, override oppression. Depression, that's our lesson. All for Yahweh, Almighty Hayanawa. I will protect your sons and daughters. Isaiah 14 and 21, prepare slaughter. Yes, I will stand up straight for your order. I love all these brothers. I laugh with my brothers. I cry with my brothers. I die with my brothers. Any given day, I will fly with my brothers. Man, I share with my brothers. I confess with my brothers. On any given day, I will die with my brothers. Listen, no disrespect, let's get real. Buckshot still can drill and make wheels. Body parts scattered all across fields. Finger parts left aside distinct meals. The devil used to gas me up like Vin Diesel. The how I shot my CDL, I drink diesel. Wicked as hell, these straight weasels. Just like the ancestors who brought measles. Yahweh shot the good vaccine for my peoples. My brothers, I'm representing. You touch one of them, that ass will be missing. No pot to pissin'. Stop, drop, and listen. 2/3 of Jacob's about to be missing. Lords of Yahweh, that's what we teaching. Brotherly love, override oppression.